Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Yambo, one half of the Unlikely Geeks, and I'm here today because Dro's not. Dro's feeling a little bit under the weather, so everybody, well wishes. Hope you feel better, boy. My boy, I am gonna be here in my fuzzy. I don't know. I got this for Christmas. I'm obsessed with it. It got cuffs. I got the whole little I've been wearing this since Christmas. I don't know. Of course, I shower and I go out and whatever, but I haven't taken it off for real, for real. My house usually stays on like 50 degrees. So this right here makes it feel like nothing. I love this thing. It's the softest in the world. So it's just incredible. You can find it at your local Marshalls. Not sponsored. But yeah, so again, this is the Unlikely Geeks podcast. My name's Yambo. We got a lot to go over today, a lot of incredible news. I'm just really excited. I wanted to start by sharing off that we now have a brand new website. So let me show that to you guys. This is the Unlikely Geeks website, and you guys can go and check it out now. We got who are the Unlikely Geeks. You guys can watch us on YouTube, Twitch, even Patreon. We got our Instagram there, and I'm proud to announce that we are now on iHeartRadio. We're on Amazon Music, so you can say, "Hey Alexa, play Unlikely Geeks," and hopefully that triggered something in your house, and now you're listening to us, one of our past episodes. But this is really like a one-stop hub, so you could tell your friends and family, "Hey, I listen to this podcast, The Unlikely Geeks. Go to unlikelygeeks.com," and then they can choose where they would like to follow and subscribe, because we got YouTube and we have all of the other places for them to go and follow, right? Even the Unlikely Part. The Unlikely Part is a separate channel, and you guys can watch that on YouTube as well. On Spotify and Apple Music. Hey, Alexa, listen to the Unlikely Part. I spent a lot of time doing this, getting it approved, and I'm just really, really excited. So if you want to watch us play games, Unlikely Geeks Plays, we have a lot of stuff and more shows to come. As far as merchandise, I planned on having some merchandise when we open the store, but the merchandise, we're working on it with a couple different people and trying to figure that out. So once that's up, then it's stuck. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's a lot of news going on. And usually when it's just me, we have a shorter episode. So we're going to probably, I'm going to go on a rant or two and just talk about some stuff. But usually it's about a 30, 45-minute episode, usually when Yambo's by himself, right? And yes, I talk about myself in the third person sometimes. But anyways, the first order of business is GameStop is shutting down its doors all over the United States. I don't know personally if my favorite stores are closing, like my GameStops, and I was looking I couldn't find anything. But I did find that last year when this happened and a bunch of stores closed, Florida, none of them closed. So that's a little bit crazy. I hope that's the same way here. I do like, do I still have a no volume problem? I don't think so. Let me see. Let's go and check our YouTube channel and see real fast if I don't have any volume, because that would be bananas. All right, let's check Twitch. So, yeah, let me keep talking just in case we do. La, la, la. No volume still. Hey, chat, if we have volume, can I get a thumbs up or something, please? Let's see. See what happens when I'm left to my own devices and I'm by myself? Everything goes to heck. All right. So I got it. We do have volume. Hey, Mom. But anyways. So yeah, GameStops are closing. And I wanted to let you guys know, is that a good thing or bad thing? I wanted to ask you guys, is that a good thing or bad thing? And the reason why I ask is because I might be part of the problem since I buy digital games for the most part now. Anytime I buy a physical game, it's because it was an unbelievable deal. I got the Avatar for $10. I got, Madden for $4 or something, right? And as you see behind me, I'm not afraid to buy physical games. I'm just lazy. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people as well. So digital has just been the way to go. And even though the deals are not as good, they're always doing some Steam deal. Xbox has deals per every week, stuff like that. So I don't blame people for doing that. GameStop was a nice hub for other nerds to go to, but also I was never in there talking to people. I usually was pretending to be an employee and helping people out. And I was telling a story before that I did work for GameStop for about 3 hours. And the way it started was it was right before Christmas. And I had every kid dream job is to work for GameStop, at least nerds like me. So back then. So I finally got the job, super excited. I went my first day of work with a suit and tie, like I was ready. They're like, yo, why you look like a manager? You're doing too much. Don't wear that next time. But here's your badge and let's alphabetize everything in the store. So that was my job. My training was me putting games in ABC order. And as we're doing it, maybe 2 hours in, a bum rush of people start coming in. So my trainer, who was the manager, who was also the cashier, dipped and started just checking people out. And I finished. And I go to him, I'm like, yo, what do I do now? He's like, well, the bum rush is over. Go home for now, and we'll schedule you later. So like 3 hours into work, and I'm done. And they never put me back on schedule, right? And so I call him, and I'm like, yo, am I ever going to get another job, another time, for my new job that I'm just excited about, that I've wanted since I was like 5? Like, what are we doing? And he was like, yeah, no, we're not that busy most of the time, so we don't need you. But I feel bad. You could keep your discount until the New Year's, so that way you could have it over Christmas and stuff. And so I was disappointed, sure, but all I cared about was the discount. I'm a gamer. And back in the day, I had way more games than that. I had more games than GameStop, like at the time. Xbox 360 and PS4 days with the Wii and all that. Like I had more games than anybody that you knew. And I had so many games that, shout out my little brothers, they would steal my games, open them, play them, and I wouldn't even notice because of how many games. They wouldn't take care of them because they were young. They would throw them everywhere and whatever. And I would only find out when they had scratches because my games were kept pristine. And then these kids would throw them around. And then I hated those kids. I was so bad. We don't say the word hate too often, but I hated those kids for years. I was so mad. I had to trade in those games because I was so upset they ruined them. So my whole collection of like 800 games went down to like whatever's there. And I was so angry. And I remind them about it all the time. For real, they owe me thousands of dollars. But whatever, they're never going to pay me. But I was so mad. They stole from me. I was so mad. Anyways, so GameStop hired me, never really put me there. I still used the discount, and I bought a hell of a lot of games. I still got the badge, and every time we walk into that GameStop, I tell my son, I used to work here, even though technically nobody remembers me there. And also, I've never seen a GameStop employee 2 times in a row. I don't go very often, but every time I do go, it is a new set of employees. Brand, I've never seen the same person twice at GameStop. So maybe they only hire people for 3 hours. Maybe that might be why they're closing down. Who really knows? I don't wish anybody to lose their job, but I also love when stores close down because I buy everything. So for right now, guys, take it from me. Save your monies. When your store closes down, you're going to have way more games for the same price as buying like 2 or 3 games. And don't trade in none of your games to GameStop now. What's the point? Just keep them. Sell them on Facebook Market. Give them to me. I got some room right next to the Ninja Turtle. But for real, the big news just happened today. The Division, right? Ubisoft leaked due to a billboard that's in Japan. They leaked that the Division 1, 2, and 3 are all having some stuff coming out. Division 1 is getting a definitive edition, meaning all the DLC, the 4K graphics, the 60 FPS, all of this stuff, they're doing a repackaging. And the same game that came out 10 years ago that I absolutely loved in New York with the snow, with everything, is coming back out. So you damn right I'm going to play it. I'm going to buy it and play it. Now, if they give it to you because you already have it, I think I've bought that game like 7 different times. I had the physical copy. I got the digital on the computer. I got it on the Xbox. So hopefully they just give it to you or charge you like $10, but I'm all over that game. Then the Division 2 is getting a realism mode. So they're going to make it more realistic. The guns are going to be weightier, one headshot kills, because Division is known for like bullet sponge enemies where you're just like, pow, 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 shoot, wasting 10 clips to knock one guy down. Here's more realistic. So you don't get the regenerative health. You don't, you run, but you can't run forever. Stuff like that. I'm super excited for that. So am I going to replay the game again for maybe the 8th time? Yeah. One of my favorite games of all times. Top Ubisoft is one of my favorite developers. And I hate what's going on with them because every month they're almost firing everybody. They're almost being sold off to this person or that person. They don't know what they're doing with their money. But think about it. Assassin's Creed, The Division, Far Cry, they have so many of my favorite games. I feel like even Hitman was like Ubisoft, but it's not. It wasn't ever. But like I almost put them for some reason in the same boat. IO Interactive for some reason. I don't know why. But when I think of them, I think of Ubisoft for some reason and whatever. So I hate that Ubisoft is going through all of this. They were at one time my favorite developer ever. I bought the Rayman games, the newer ones, and they've made so much. But they also announced that the Division 3 is coming out probably way in the future. And they say it's going to revolutionize the gaming world, like that type of extraction shooter type game, the same way that Division 1 did. And Division 1 did take over. It was the first like super awesome multiplayer game that I played. And you guys know I'm not a multiplayer guy, but it was multiplayer with single player. You could go into the dark zone, and that was an extraction zone before extraction shooters were even a thing. Like, this game was revolutionary. It was incredible. So yeah. Am I getting Division 3? Hell yeah. First one was in New York. Second one was in DC, but then had DLC in New York. The third one, I mean, it won't be in Miami. Grand Theft Auto's in Miami. Could it be in LA? I think LA will be a good spot. Chicago, we don't have too many games outside of Watch Dogs. That was in Chicago. We have Atlanta. We don't have too many games in Atlanta. Let's see. I think it'll be in one of those spots. It won't be in the United Kingdom. It won't be out of the country. I think this is a Black Friday, like, centered thing. And in America, Black Friday is was the biggest thing in the world. So I feel like it's going to stay in America. Wherever it's going to be, I'm excited for it. Now, if they just keep going more south, they went from New York to DC. The next would be like Pennsylvania or something, maybe North Carolina. I don't know what you could do in like a North or South Carolina, but that would be different. That would be pretty cool. The Division 2, also starting tomorrow, January 13th until January 27th, they're going to have a collaboration with the Avatar Frontiers of Pandora game. And there's going to be collectible items. There's going to be new gear to unlock that's based on that video game. Again, a Ubisoft game. So that's going to be fun. Am I going to go back and play it tomorrow? Yeah. Yeah, unless I have something to do, I'm playing that tomorrow. Should I stream it? Maybe. I don't remember, because the one thing about the Division that I absolutely hate, there's no cross progression. So I believe I beat the game like to level 40 and whatever on the PC, but I tried to play on the PlayStation and couldn't connect my accounts, and I was like at level 5. So I don't remember where it is. Regardless, I'm going to find which area am I the highest in, and I'm going to play it there. If you're listening and you have the game, I need help. I need help with one of these levels. There's 2 levels. There's one level that's DLC where you jump down somewhere and there's like helicopters and whatever. It's like a DLC from Brooklyn mode. And then the other one is the tower where you just go up 100 levels and you just got to beat people in every level. I'm on level 100. I cannot beat level 100 by myself. So if anybody would like to play, I'm really, really good. And I can still use your assistance. It would be amazing because those are the 2 levels I haven't beat yet in Division 2. And it is because of the fact that everybody's a bullet sponge. So I play on the harder mode. I don't think I play on the hardest mode. And I'm trying to like be around the console to rip the data, whatever, and then the people are shooting at me from every which way, and that's where I die every single time. So yeah, if you guys are listening, all you guys out there, reach out to me. Hey Yambo on Instagram, just write Unlikely Geeks. I also manage that. I need some help. Next news. Wolfenstein 3 is in development. So Wolfenstein, if you guys don't realize or didn't know, is the game where you play as, I forget his name, Blazkowicz. I forgot his first name, Ben or something. He kills Nazis just all day. Just that's all it is. It is that's it. And a lot of people in the comments of all the posts were like, "Oh, it's the great time for this kind of game." And if you guys are into the politics, you guys understand why people say that. So, to me, I love the rebooted 2 games that came out. There was 3, I think. I love these games because of how they look. The graphics, beyond words, right? They're so super realistic. They're the same people who made the last Indiana Jones game. So a Wolfenstein 3 with even better graphics, with now the state of the world with all of this stuff, it's going to be pretty badass. This is a world where those people won, and now you're trying to have a revolution against that. And then they have robots and all of this like technology, but it's still old school. It's old school, new technology. The game's dope. You can find it for $5-10 everywhere. If you haven't played Wolfenstein, it's a first-person shooter. I recommend it wholeheartedly. Let's see. The next, I'm only saying for my parents out there, again, Unlikely Geeks is for the adults. Unlikely Geeks, I'm assuming that you guys like me have children. I'm assuming that you guys like me have children that play video games, or you like video games and you play Fortnite, or know someone that plays Fortnite, your niece, your nephews. Fortnite now has a gambling style mechanic in a mode called Steal the Brain Rot, which Brain Rot is all that 6-7 nonsense, right? All the stuff that just does nothing for your brain. My son is Brain Rot. He be saying Piscatillo, Mocadillo. He be saying Spaghettio, Fidelio. Like, he just be saying some random stuff at all times. But in the Steal the Brain Rot mode, you could purchase a bundle that's like 49,000 V-Bucks. That's like $50. So you could buy the bundle, you can get that money or any money that you have, and you could spin a wheel. And you could pay to spin a wheel. And when you spin that wheel, you could unlock a gun, you can unlock you can unlock more money, whatever. So now they just made Fortnite into a slot machine, right? Kind of, in a way. It was like a Wheel of Fortune wheel, but in the same thing. So they kind of have like loot boxes. They kind of have all of those things that are like in the Seminole Hard Rock Casino in Fortnite, where your child and my child are playing video games. This is real bad, guys. Real bad. Luckily, I don't have no money. I don't have no card connected to anything Fortnite related for my child, so he can never like take it from me unless he actually takes it from me, which I don't think he will ever do. But when his mother gives him codes to go and buy Fortnite points, because I stopped doing that a long time ago, unless it's something I want him to buy. Like if it's Cyclops or the Ninja Turtles, and I'll be like, yo, I want you to have that here. But I'm never just gonna buy him random because he has bought random skins that has just annoyed the heck out of me. He bought like a pigeon, like a man-sized pigeon, and I don't think he's ever played that character in his life. I don't think he's ever played that character. Even when he bought it, he didn't play that character. And then he'd be buying shoes and then not putting the shoes on the people, so they're just running around in whatever feet they got. The wastiest of money, right? Luckily, it's not my money, so I'm not saying nothing. But this mechanic is going to be bad. If he ever asks me, hey, Dad, I need some money because I could possibly win like 10,000, V-Bucks. That's when I'm going to have a sit-down talk with him and be like, yo, you might want to just go to Roblox or something because I don't want him to start liking gambling. My grandma loves gambling, I've learned, because for Christmas, we bought her a slot machine bank where she puts her little quarters in there. She could pull the thing, and if it comes out, then some change comes out, and it just, just gives you the fun of being, at the casino. But she ain't driving to the casino. She don't drive. Long story, whatever. But so this gambling thing is in our blood. I don't gamble for nothing. And I'm a big into boxing. What's this new thing where you could bid on anything? Like, yo, is this person going to win game of the year? Is this person going to fall at the at the Golden Globes Awards or something? So whatever that app is, it's very hard for me not to want to download it because stuff like which boxer is going to win? I'm usually pretty good at that. Which football team's going to win? I'm pretty good at that. But I'm scared that the moment I actually put $1 in, that's when I'm not going to be really good at that. You know what I'm saying? So I can't see myself gambling, even though I've been to the casino and I've been with people who have won $50, $100, $600. I can't do it myself. I'll play with other people's money. You want to give me $20? I'll gamble it. We'll figure it out. If I win, we win. I give you $20. If I win $3,000, I might give you 100. Whatever. So that part, fine. But that's OPM. That's other people's money. So doing it with my own money, I can't do. I don't make that much money, guys. I ain't rich. I be moving like I'm rich. I be thinking I'm 50 Cent, but all I have is 50 cents. All right, skip that story. We're done. Now we're talking about the movies, right? This is normally where me and Dro, we interact, blah, blah, blah. We segue into the movies. That's what his specialty is. We're done with the video game talk for tonight. Jackass 5 with Bam Margera is coming out in June. Jackass. Look, that's good. That's a good thing. One, because I find the Jackass movies hilarious. As a kid, I found them not the best. But, quick story, we got time. When I was 18 years old, on my 18th birthday was the day that Jackass either came out that weekend or came out whatever. And for my birthday, I've never been the guy that people throw parties for. I've never been the guy that, throws parties for himself or anything like that. So for my birthday, I called two of my friends up and my dad, and I was like, let's go watch Jackass. And my dad was damn near in tears, like, you're 18 years old, and you invited me to watch a movie with you on your birthday. Thank you, son. This means the world to me. And then I was like, let's go watch Jackass. Listen, so I'm watching it with my two homeboys, and I'm sitting next to my dad, right? I think it was Jackass either 2 or 3. And they had the part where all of their lower body was exposed, right? Immediately, I covered my eyes. I just turned 18, but I'm with my dad. And back then, I was the type to be like, oh, there's a sex scene or something crazy. I would cover my eyes, right? You can't, just out of respect. Like, I'm not trying to watch people do it with my parents right here. Like, that's crazy to me. So I caught myself covering my eyes when the dingalings were all over the place. And immediately I took my thing off, and my boys looked at me and started laughing. And, that was a joke for a good couple months. But the movie's good. It's funny. I don't know if I ever had a Jackass phase. I was never a skater, but I'm a YOLO type dude. Like, you only live once. Go out there and do what you got to do. You'll get your money back. You'll get your whatever. I don't know if over the years I I've got more soft. Definitely have this fuzzy right here, not sponsored. But at the same time, they go crazy. I'm scared of heights. I don't like escalators. Uh, don't catch me around no bugs. I'm not eating nothing nasty. So I wouldn't be the ideal jackass person, but I'm down to do some crazy fun stuff with all my peoples, right? So Jackass 5 is coming out. I'm definitely gonna watch it. I might invite my dad again for old time's sake. I don't know if he ever remembers that, but that was like one of those core memories for me. Um, as I'm doing some research a little bit about the topics, I learned that Bam is not filming any new stunts. So chances are all of the stuff they took out from Jackass 4 ever, I think that was the name of it, they are probably going to use all of those clips in this movie. But Bam did have to sign like a apology note to everybody from Jackass and like say that he's not drinking and doing all that again. So that's good. His friends are looking out for him. And as payment, like, hey, don't do all this crazy stuff again, because if you get hurt, then you get back on, the stuff that was bad for you, right? So I think it's a good thing. We're gonna see some old clips throughout, but a new Jackass. You can't be mad at that. It's gonna be fun. Might be a little bit too risque for my son to watch with me, but once he turns like 13, 14, we'll run a marathon and we'll watch it together, right? So that's gonna be a lot of fun. This next story right here is just another story. So Priyanka Chopra might be Rita Repulsa in the Disney Power Rangers film. I think that's one of the Jonas Brothers' ex-wife, current wife. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with the e-news and all the pop culture YouTube pages that I used to watch, all the gossip pages and stuff. But I think there's trouble in paradise. But she is gorgeous. I never liked Power Rangers like that. Don't leave and turn off the podcast yet. I loved the SNES video game, the side scroller Power Rangers game. And I loved the last reboot that they did with Bryan Cranston and with Becky G and the guy from Stranger Things and all of that. That movie was incredible. It was so much fun. It was so good. It was awesome. Was it part because of Becky G? Little part. It also had the girl from Smile too, and I love her too. So I wish that movie continued, especially that they teased that the Green Ranger was coming and it was a whole big deal. But for some reason, I think it did well. For some reason, they said, nah, scrap it. We ain't going to do it. We'll move on to, we're just not going to do a sequel. And now they're going to do a reboot. So am I as excited? No, unless they bring back some of the old cast or they bring back somebody that's 10 times better, which is going to be hard to do because Becky killed it. She was incredible. So who knows what it could be about. I'm just not a fan. I was never a fan of Power Rangers. My cousin was. He had the birthday parties, all of that. But to me, the overly fakeness of it all, like even as a child, I was like, this looks bad. You got a guy in a costume dressed like a monster. You got another dude in, his suit of armor that looks cool, but he's fighting this rubber suit guy in these small little towns that you could tell was like our background, just really tiny I hated everything about it. They would fake swing and punch and the explosions. Oh, it just blows my mind how many people love this. It don't make no sense to me. I think that's why I loved the new movie, because it all looked more realistic and grounded and just, it was way cooler. So I think that's why. Now the video games, I mean, you're actually hitting stuff in the video games. So the video games to me were super cool. The next couple stories, I batched them together as they are about comic book movies. So we'll start off with DC. The DC Studios announced the Starfire animated series will be Starfire animated series is going to be an origin story where she's in space. So I think this is going to work, right? Especially because this is before she becomes a Teen Titan. So there's no Robin, there's no whatever. it could be not serialized, but it can literally be episodic, where one episode she's doing this, almost like a Law and Order, but in space type deal. And that's cool. Somehow it's going to connect to the other DC stuff because everything's connects with James Gunn. But I like that idea of every episode being a little bit, being its own story, and you can watch it however. Like, this would be good for syndication, for reruns to watch all the time. This could be one of those type shows. Unlike Creature Commando, which, even though every person had their own episode, Creature Commando was like you had to watch it all. If you skip to episode 4, you might lose some of the plot. So I like the idea of that. Now, is the animation going to be more like Creature Commando, or is the animation going to be more like Harley Quinn? The Harley Quinn show is incredible. So who knows? When is it coming out? Who knows? Will it be on HBO? Who knows? Sebastian Stan. Everybody knows him as Donald Trump in the Donald Trump Apprentice movie. Just kidding. He is the Winter Soldier. So he just got casted for Harvey Dent in the Batman Part 2. So the one with homeboy from Twilight, who hates when people do say that. So my fault. But he's going to be Harvey Dent. She's going to be cool. So who knows? I don't really got much to say about that because that movie is not coming out until my son has kids. Like, they just keep postponing that to the oblivion. So who the hell knows when that movie's coming out? Hopefully, now that they cast him, that means they're going to start filming soon. And if they start filming soon, it's probably going to take 6 months to a year for it to come out. So I would assume 2027 April, March, around that time. Blade, the Blade movie from Marvel with Ali, is canceled. There's rumors. It's over. It's done. Forget about it. It's just so many delays, so many things coming out. They've done 10 different versions, whatever. They threw that out the window. Now they're going to pivot to the Midnight Suns. And the Midnight Suns is where Blade and Doctor Strange and, all these characters are now fighting, like the Illuminati and the devil and all of this stuff. Pedro would know more about that, but he ain't here. So you guys are going to get my rough notes. And the reason for my rough notes is because of the video game Marvel Midnight Suns. I was actually going to make a TikTok about it, and I have it in my thing here. It's just hard to find clips of that game looking fun. The game is super fun to play, but watching it, not really the funnest game to watch. So I'll talk to you about the game because this is my show. I can do what I want. All right. Marvel Midnight Suns, the game, was made by the same people who made XCOM. It's one of those role-playing strategy games where you move your people, 3 steps this way to go and hit that guy. Now you have a 33% chance to hit him because he's behind the block. One of those games. This game is the first of its kind that I ever played. And the one that I loved so much, it made me go back to play Gears of War Tactics. It made me go to play the Narcos game. It made me go to play the XCOM game. Like, this was my gateway drug game. And that's kind of what I said on the TikTok. This is my gateway drug game to this whole type of video game. So I highly recommend it to everybody. And if you are to buy it, get the Enhanced Sun Edition. That's like the deluxe special edition. $10. All these games that I'm telling you are old, $10. And you get Deadpool, you get Morbius, you get Venom, like characters that aren't in the original game. So you get those characters, and it is not only so funny, so good, you feel so smart. So you play and you collect these cards, right? Each player has these cards. They cost you some points, so you can move your person 3 steps that way and then use 2 of your special to use this card. This card will end up having you do this attack. This attack will hit people surrounding that person. Now you use the next person. You go around the back. You flank them. You just feel like a genius. And I never understood the XCOM. Like, when I was playing it for the first times before, I didn't understand it. I was like, this is kind of boring. I can't really get it. Why am I missing a shot and I'm directly in front of that fool? and I was at a 99%, and all of a sudden my shot misses. This is whack. But playing it with superheroes made all the sense in the world, right? Because superhero trading cards, superhero comics, superhero, for some reason it just clicked. And this game is never going to get a sequel because I don't think too many people bought it. But I highly recommend it. And for less than $20, $10, please buy it. Please try it. Yell at me if you didn't like it. I will not give you your money back, but maybe Steam might. But I love that game. So because of that game, I'm hella excited for this movie. And that's all I really know about Midnight Suns. I love doing this by myself because there's no segues. It's just me reading off my word. I can't say this lady's name. Tiana Maslany. Tatiana Maslany just quit She-Hulk and Marvel. That was a headline somewhere. I stole it. So the lady who played She-Hulk in the She-Hulk TV show, which I liked, but as we've all know, I like things that most people don't. I like the bad video games. I like the bad movies. I like the bad Marvel TV shows. I just enjoy the underdogness, I guess. I don't know. But for some reason, I just seem to like everything people hate. I like this movie. I like the show. I thought it was funny. I thought She-Hulk, the CGI character, was actually, how do I say this without being weird? Attractive. Like I was like, this is kind of cool. Like she looks good. But she quit. She's over with, which means they have a big part in her for Secret Wars for her, right? I can only assume because she plays a role. And now that she's gone, they're probably going to recast her, which will be fine because they recast Hulk like every 5 movies, right? For the first 3 movies, it was 3 different Hulks. So they could make a joke about that, especially the way that the show ended with Kevin controlling everything and whatever. He could be like, nope, we moved her. We put new person in. So they'll find a way to make it. But I think they would have to do a season 2 before they do Secret Wars to like do that. You can't really make a joke like that with Secret Wars being right after Doomsday. And Doomsday is probably going to be pretty serious, like really serious the way it ends. I don't think introducing She-Hulk to be a whole different person, you could have a joke like a Kevin, right? So I feel like they have to do like a one shot or they have to do some sort of like commercial. They got to do something to like introduce this new She-Hulk. And then somebody will be like, you look different or something, the same way they did with the Fresh Prince and Aunt Viv, right? Dylan O'Brien, the guy from Teen Wolf, he's actually trying to be in the MCU, or the MCU's trying to get him to be in the MCU after Secret Wars and everything. Who will he play? The world may never know. For now, we'll find out in like a year or 2. Or it could leak and we'll find out next week. But I don't know who he could play. Because again, that's Pedro's job to know who he could possibly play. I don't know that much about these MCU characters like that. If they're not in a video game or they haven't been in a movie, that's when I learn about them. I read my comics, but my comics are absolute. My comics are Ninja Turtles. My comics are Invincible. So my comic is not the MCU, Marvel, stuff. Henry Cavill is rumored to play a Beyonder, the Beyonder in the MCU. And we might even see him in the Secret Wars. Now, who the hell's the Beyonder? I don't know. It's beyond my knowledge. So, again, maybe Joe will tell us next week. But see why we need you, bro? Because I don't know anything. Sadie Sink from Stranger Things, the show that just finished like a week ago. She's potentially going to be the young Jean Grey in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And she's going to wear green and yellow, which is like the original. And I know that part. That's like one of the old school comic looks. And this is good and bad. Bad because that means Jean Grey, Cyclops, the Beast, all these characters that are going to be in Doomsday are dead. There's 100% certainty that they're gone They're gonna die by the end. They'll die in the middle. They'll die early. Cyclops will just be like done, right? And that's my biggest fear. If you guys have been following TikTok and YouTube, the shorts, now me and Joe are trying new things, and we're posting like one-off, 1 minute, 2 minute little clips and little thoughts. And my thought is, yes, Cyclops is my favorite superhero. He's gonna be in this movie. It's gonna be awesome. They're gonna kill him again, and so that's bound to happen. And the fact that this girl is gonna play a young Jean Grey, this movie is not taking place before those X-Men movies. No, this is a different universe. This is whatever, but since these X-Men characters are coming into this universe, she's dead. And this new Jean Grey is going to be the Jean Grey moving forward. It's going to be a beautiful thing. It's going to be sad, and I hate it. And then for our last story today in our 45-ish minute episode is a trailer that I wanted to show. But I can't because I'm scared, because last week watching what was the name of that show? The Marvel Wonder Man. Watching that Wonder Man trailer, YouTube took us down for a day and a half. I had a fight to say, yo, whatever. We just cut it. So if you're watching it on YouTube, there's a gap. If you're listening to it on one of your platforms of choice for podcasts, you'll get the whole thing. So I will not be showing this Mummy trailer, but Lee Cronin's The Mummy trailer just released. This is made by Blumhouse. And it looks scary, bro. Like really, really scary. They say it's part Poltergeist and part 7. And the whole thing is like, what happened to Katie or whatever her name is? And who knows what this movie is going to be about. It really does look scary. You got the mummy in the tomb and a spider's crawling out their mouth, or a beetle. I'm hoping it's a beetle. But the original Mummy movies, I was scared of. I was a baby little kid. Like, anything scared me. I'm going to try real hard. I'm trying to find it. I want to watch Monkey Bone, because that was one movie that traumatized me as a kid. The first minute and a half where the monkey's there and it's realistic life, but then the monkey's not. And then I don't remember what happened. All I remember is that after I seen that monkey, I turned it off. I want to watch it. I think I'm more of a man now. I think I could handle it. But I will have a teddy bear or something with me, because we'll see. But those movies, only thing about the Mummy that I know is the Universal theme park ride. My favorite ride in Universal. Then the fact that they came out with a new one, and the new one had Tom Cruise in it, right? And that one didn't do too well. So this is now the third reboot of that. I believe it's The Mummy. Like, it's part of that story. Now, I don't think this is going to be something completely different, but it just happens to have the same name. But again, it looks scary. Will I watch it now? Yeah, because, again, I'm a grown man, and nothing scares me except for heights and escalators and bugs. But, nothing scared me. I ain't scared of nothing. And, yeah, so that's that. You guys go watch that trailer. Tell me what you think, because I would like to talk about it. Maybe you guys could give me more insight of what to expect, who the Lee guy is, because I'm not sure who Lee Cronin is. I will do some more research after the show. But again, this trailer just dropped right before we aired, so I didn't have too much time to do research. Anything Blumhouse does is usually pretty decent, so I'm excited for it. Now, I did hear, I don't know if it was this movie, but there was another movie with an Asian director that was a scary movie. I thought it was Mummy, that they did a pre-screening for all the directors and stuff. And Justin Lin, the director of the Fast and the Furious movies, he walked out of the movie. He said it was horrible, which is crazy. That's disrespectful to the highest degree. But I don't know if it was this movie or if it was something else. Either way, there's a movie out there that we should really be watching out for. Since we got a little bit of time, if you guys did not check out Realtor Reviews, I watched 3 movies on Saturday. I did a triple feature, and I saw was the name of woo? What was the name of those movies? I'm bad, guys. My memory is that of freaking Goldfish. All right, hold on real quick. The movies that I saw were Marty Supreme. Have you guys watched it? I mean, I thought it was good. I don't think it's an award-winning, amazing, incredible movie. I think compared to Uncut Gems, this movie doesn't even hold its candles. As far as table tennis, I think that's really cool because there's not too many table tennis movies. But this movie really wasn't about table tennis at all. It was about a hustler, a schemer, a New Yorker that is trying to get to play ping pong in Japan. So he's just scheming and scamming everybody that he meets. He's a horrible human being. He's based on a true person, so whatever. But he's a horrible person, and I didn't want him to win. I'm watching the movie hoping that he loses. So to me, all of the anxiety and the stress came from me wishing bad on the main character. I didn't want him to win. So I don't think that's the best, main character of a movie for somebody to hate the person that much, but also says that that person acted well. I still don't like Timothée Chalamet that much. I've never been the biggest fan of his, and this movie did not change that, unfortunately. The second movie I saw, probably like 2 hours later, probably like an hour later. I just stayed in my car. I wasn't going nowhere. Was Housemaid, the movie with Sydney Sweeney and with Amanda Seyfried. Seyfried. That movie was good. I mean, the beginning of the movie is really foreshadow heavy. Like they're walking down the stairs and then the lady goes, man, it would suck if, somebody fell down these stairs. They'll really hurt themselves. All right, well, somebody's falling down them stairs, or they're showing like the person's playing with some knives. The knife is going to mean something, whatever. Like they did so much of that and it was so heavy handed. I was like, oh, this movie is mad predictable. This is stupid. Then I kept watching and everything I thought would happen happened. But the way that it got to those points, I'm like, that was cool. Like, all right, I didn't know they went there. That's crazy. You guys are nuts. I thought the movie was over and now there's a whole another hour of this movie. So I enjoyed it. I saw it alone. I was surrounded by couples. It was very sad. But, and me, I find a lot of things funny that shouldn't be funny. So you got the couples in there, whatever, they're all kissy-dubby. The boyfriends don't want to be there. I'm the only guy that seems to want to be there. And the girls are screaming at the TV. And people of all races and, whatever. But the loudest ones were the Caucasian women. Girl, get out of there. What you doing? Oh, my God. Get him. Yes. Yes. And I'm just dying laughing. And the boyfriend next to me, dying laughing. And I didn't want to look left or right to be like, yo, shut your girl up, because I feel like that's what he would have thought. But I was happy that they were having fun, right? But the whole movie, it's one of those movies where I can't even say it. It's based on a book. And when I wrote my review, I had more replies on that review than I have on most of my reviews. And it's all the women like, that was just like the book. You should read the book because I was throwing it at the wall when I was done reading it because it was crazy and this and that. And I really, truly think they're going to make this a franchise. I think the next movie is going to be like a Megan 2, where it's not going to be the same as this movie. And I feel like if they do what I'm thinking in my head they should do with this movie for the second one, then they could have a third, a fourth, a fifth, and this could have more movies than Fast and the Furious. And then the last movie I saw was the actual movie I wanted to see. So I didn't really care for Marty Supreme, but I had nothing to do on Saturday. So I went and I saw that like at 9 a.m. Then I went to see Housemaid at like 2 because the movie I wanted to see at 1 would have conflicted with Marty Supreme. And that movie was Primate. I finally saw Primate. Look, I think somewhere up here you guys could see that Planet of the Apes is one of my favorite movies. The reboots, like the new ones. I didn't like the old ones when I was a kid. Again, scared. I was a sissy. So I didn't watch them then. I watched them all now. They're all good. But the CGI rebooted quadrilogy, the 4 movies that came out, those movies are my favorite franchise. that, Creed, Godfather, like I'm very basic. But those 4 movies were awesome. The 3 especially, the new 4th one, still awesome. And so I came into this movie like, oh, they're making a scary version of that. I can't wait to watch it. Nah. This is nothing like Planet of the Apes. This is more like Chucky. This is more like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is more like Scream, where the monkey is killing everything. And I don't mean like a normal, like, no. He's ripping your face. He's doing the wildest, nastiest thing. And the monkey's smart. He knows what he's doing. So, like, he'll play with you. He got your face, be like, and just start playing with your face. Like, this monkey's smart. He got rabies. And now he's going and he's taking his rabies, and now he just hates everybody. He's red for everybody that comes across him. He don't care if you were his kin. He don't care if you were his big sister. He don't care because it's a family monkey. And now he gets rabies somehow. They show you how. And he just starts massacring everything. It's gruesome. It's pretty damn gruesome. So don't watch it if you don't like blood and guts and all of this stuff, because that movie is all of that and more. Very cliche. You got the people hiding in the closet, trying not to breathe. You got the monkey that does like the shining thing where he like breaks through the thing. So it's all the cliches in the world, but it's entertaining. It's very fast paced. I don't think there was too many moments wasted. I think the way that everybody died and the order they passed away in, not passed away, but like were like offed. I think it made perfect sense. Like, of course, this character is gone now. The dynamic between these characters is this, and then that character is gone. Now the dynamic between these characters, I liked it a lot. The monkey was actually practical. So like they made a puppet instead of it being CG and a guy with a suit. So it looks different than a Planet of the Apes movie. And at times it looked a little bit fake, but he moved real. So I don't know how smooth they put the WD-40 in the elbows and stuff, but that monkey was moving and it looked really good. You see his face getting all bloodied and stuff. The movie's great. So I definitely highly recommend that if you can stomach it, because it is a very heavy, gory, bloody movie. I didn't expect it to be that bad. I thought it was a horror movie, not a slasher film. I thought it, and I mean, slasher films are scary, but like this was more over the top gory than it was like scary. So yeah, those are my quick 3 reviews of the 3 movies I saw. I ended up watching some other stuff on like Netflix and whatever, but if I remember, then we'll talk about it. The stand-up comedy from the SNL Spanish guy, watch that. All my Latinos, watch it. You're going to relate. It's the funniest stand-up I've seen in a while. I don't even watch SNL, but the Spanish dude, Marcelo, Papi, he killed that. Everything he said, I was like, that's my mom. That's my family. Not really, because some of that stuff was a little crazy. But I'm sure some Latino can understand, right? I'm sure that as a Latino, I can relate because I know people that can relate. So it's not all relatable, but in a whole, that's Latinos, creme de la creme when it comes to stand-up comedy. That was a really good stand-up. So watch that. That's the first thing I've watched on Netflix in a long time. I'm watching The Mayor of Kingstown. I'm watching that. I didn't realize it was made by the same people as Tulsa King and Yellowstone. I haven't seen Yellowstone. I don't really like period pieces like that. I like it when it's nowadays. So that's why I like Mayor of Kingstown. I just finished season 1. But yeah, guys, 55 minutes all by myself. Plus, you guys didn't know, I recorded 10 minutes with no sound. That's why we had some of that little technical difficulties in the beginning. So I recorded 10 minutes, and y'all didn't heard none of my stories. And I said those same exact stories in the first 10 minutes of this one, and I still had the same energy. So kudos to me. But anyways, this is the Unlikely Geeks. I'm your boy Yambo. Follow me at Hey Yambo. Go to unlikelygeeks.com. I worked pretty hard on that website. And if you think it could make it better, let me know, because I would absolutely take the advice. Get yourself a little koozie. What is it called? Fluzzy. Play with me, the Division 2, because I need some assistance. What else? I'm going to California in a week or two, so it's going to be dope. See me outside. Catch me over there. Pedro, feel better, my boy. I love this show, guys. I'm hella excited. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. It's been the Unlikely Geeks. Go to iHeartRadio and check us out over there. Spotify as well, because if we have a lot of listeners over there, we could get monetized. I don't see that happening, but we're going to speak it into existence, so I see it happening. Anyways, y'all, I love y'all. And until next time, go out there and save the world. Peace.